This week on the Brody and Mo In-Law Show.
You can eliminate quarantine protocols right now, but the only sport that will come back for the next 5 years is the Olympics.
Yes, I brought my child to a sports bar. Yes, she's 10 months old. Yes, we are by ourselves.
College basketball at its essence is not really a beautiful sport anyway.
True. I'm not going to be the naked Arnold Schwarzenegger, so that's going to have to be your role.
Welcome to the Brody and Mo In-Law Show, where we commiserate on Arizona sports, collaborate on being dads to daughters, and conversate on the pressing matters of today. Brody, you are a pretty active conservationist. Is that fair to say?
I
You've
think
done
so.
your fair share of work with protected species from the rhinoceroses in... Rhinoceri?
Rhinoceros? The rhinoceros?
The rhinos.
Rhinos.
With the rhino species in South Africa?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You and Chelsea were just in Texas a couple of weeks ago doing work with an organization that helps with elephants, rescue elephants.
Uh-huh. That's what I'm wearing today. This is the
preserve.
preserve.
Yeah, nice. I see it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
They're out of Fredericksburg, Texas. Great people.
Okay. I've got a question for you about this. In the course of your work with these conservationist efforts, have you met anybody that you would say is like in the in crowd, like an insider for like the big game world, like big game hunting in particular?
I wouldn't. I've met a few people that are into big game hunting, that have done some big game hunts. I don't know if I've met of anybody that's like the head honcho person. Is that what you're asking? Like the head guy or girl? I don't know.
So here's what I'm getting at here is I don't want to talk about big game hunting because it's too controversial an issue for this, what is a family-based podcast that is supposed to make people laugh.
Yes.
But what I need is I need an insider in the big game hunting world because I need to get drawn. I need to get drawn for an elephant hunt.
What? Why?
Let me be specific here. Is I don't want to get drawn for general elephant hunting. There's one elephant in this world that I need to murder, and I just need a tag for it. I need to know who can get me this tag.
Okay, let's see if I can come up with it.
As a dad to a daughter yourself, and someone who's in quarantine and is probably watching a lot of children's programming, I think you know which elephant I'm gunning to kill here.
I'm starting to get close, I think. Lay it on me.
I have got to kill Bailey the elephant from Word Party, Brody.
I was so wondering, where are you going with this? You want to hunt an elephant, which is not illegal, but you got to have some change to be able to pull this thing off.
I don't want to just hunt elephant. I want to Captain Ahab my white whale elephant of Bailey.
I will be your guide on that event. Oh my gosh, listeners, you need to understand, if you are a father of daughters, or if you're a father in general, I think you have heard of this show called Word Party, which is awful. I am an ambassador of elephants, and they're like one of my favorite species, and they're fun, but this elephant needs to go.
This elephant is not fun. This elephant is whiny, and he is needy, and he is bossy, and he thinks he owns this group. He's an elephant baby dictator.
Is exactly what it is. Bailey has the worst voice too on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And like,
it's the worst.
I can't, like, my hands are getting sweaty talking about this because I think that's rage that's coming out. And like, that's testosterone that's coming out. Elephants in real life, when they're in musk, they like sweat glands that come out of their temples. It's like testosterone. It's the same thing that's coming out in my hands right now because I'm so pissed because I hate this.
Really? That's a real thing?
Yeah. It's like an oily substance that come out of their temples. And, in musk when they're going into repro season. But like, this elephant sucks, dude. This show, I'm going to tip my hat though to the creators of this show for one reason. because they know that us as parents will do anything to make sure to like have our child be preoccupied for 20 minutes. And that's what my child does, is stands 4 inches from the TV and watches this show. I don't think blinks for 20 minutes. I have to sit through it because I know that it's going to keep her happy for 20 minutes. And this is where my mind wandered, Mo, for a while today. She was watching Word Party. Okay, Word Party, for those listening, has 4 characters. I don't remember their names exactly, but there's a wallaby, there's an elephant, there's a cheetah.
Is he a wallaby? I thought he was a kangaroo.
No, he's a wallaby.
He's a wallaby.
He's a wallaby, which is cool. We've actually owned a wallaby before. It's a cool story. They're fun, but not this wallaby. There's a wallaby, there's an elephant, there's a cheetah, and there's a panda. And so Sadie's watching this today, and my mind wandered to where what would happen if this was real life? If we really put these 4 animals together, what would be happening? I've come up with the solution. The cheetah would kill the wallaby first, instant. Like they don't run particularly fast. The panda would probably crawl up a tree. Probably after a couple of days, the cheetah's going to get hungry again, so it'll go after the panda because it won't go after an elephant unless it's a little one. And even by itself, a cheetah by itself, they wouldn't go after the elephant. So unfortunately, we're going to be stuck at the 2. If desperation mode, the cheetah might go after the elephant, and if it's extremely desperate, but the elephant's going to end up killing this cheetah.
Oh no, we're left with Bailey the elephant?
Yes, that's going to be the one that lives. And even if they live to old age, the elephant in wild is going to live longer than the cheetah. So that's why I'm bringing it back to the point of, if we murder it now, we don't have to live through that.
Kind of like a Terminator situation. Like, we have to kill this thing now so that future John Connor can, or however that timeline works. I don't think anybody knows how the Terminator timeline works anymore.
That's what we have to do. We have to go back in time. I'm not going to be the naked Arnold Schwarzenegger, so that's going to have to be your role in this. But back to Word Party, dude. They have a song in there, and I'm sure you've heard it, that's called Let's Not Fight.
Yeah.
Let's not fight. I've reworded it to let's all fight because I'm Irish.
I like this better.
I've only gotten to let's all fight. That's as much as I've gotten. And I just sing along to it. Let's all fight. And then I throw Sadie against the sofa.
Give me a new title to this show where the tagline is let's all fight.
Let's all fight. It would be, I would say Fight Party. Fight Club.
Fight Party's good.
Baby
Fight Club. It's like Muppet Babies,
but fighting.
With Brad Pitt as a child wallaby.
If we're going to talk about Word Party, we could talk about Frozen 2 Doggone.
We got to always talk about Frozen somehow.
Because I have a concern. I have a concern about Frozen 2 that just came up again.
Okay.
So, if you'll remember back in Frozen 2, arguably the worst movie that's ever been made in the history of cinema, there's a part in the film where Elsa gets mad and puts Anna and Olaf in an ice boat and sends them down the mountain, and they end up in the river, right? You following where I'm going with? And
unfortunately, I know
exactly what I'm talking about. And they're strolling along, and then they're like, shh, be quiet. There's, the rock giants are everywhere, and like shows them breathing, and then they almost go into like one of the nostrils. And then they see a cave off to the right. What hole did they go into when the rock monsters? I mean, we hope it's a nose, right? But that's all I can think about in this film. Like, I've seen it so many times that I have to think of something different.
Here's something Emily and I have been doing now recently with Frozen 2 and with all the Disney movies is we're gauging how big the eyes are in only the female characters of every Disney movie. The next time you watch like Moana or Frozen or Tangled or whatever, look at the difference in the size of the characters' eyes.
What is
like
that?
Guys, all guys have normal sized eyes. They're all fine. Like they look like regular human beings. You look back at Ariel, Moana, whatever her name was in Rapunzel. How did I forget Rapunzel? Rapunzel, the Frozen sisters, huge eyes.
Okay.
And I looked this up, and apparently big eyes give off the illusion of innocence.
Oh.
And so Disney purposely creates their female characters They're princesses in particular
Yeah.
with these enormous eyes.
Oh.
Evil people never, always small beady
eyes.
stuff.
Yeah.
And even if you watch like Avatar, the Avatar's eyes are enormous.
Really?
Like they swallow their face. And all very intentional to make people think, okay, these are the people you can trust. They're the innocent ones. They're the protagonists.
Yeah, these are the good guys. They have big eyes, so that means they're innocent. Wow,
Yes.
that's interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. So is that why they all the kids like Elsa so much and not Anna? It doesn't make sense because maybe she has bigger eyes and blonde hair. They like blonde hair. I don't know.
Do kids like Elsa more? Because Posey is all about Anna.
Dude, for the first only up until the last probably week has Sadie even acknowledged that Anna even exists in the film. Because
Really?
yeah, she used to just Elsa. That's it. You know, she didn't even know the word Frozen. It was just Elsa. And now it's like Anna, Olaf, and you know she's like naming the other characters Frozen. Maybe it's the blonde hair and bigger eyes. I'd be interested to see that. I didn't know that. The only thing I know is that Disneyland, you're never more than 30 steps away from a trash can. That's my claim to fame that I know at Disneyland. Yeah.
Okay.
Walt Disney did a study and he noticed if people take 30 or more steps, they're likely to throw their trash on the ground. So anywhere you're on the park, you're no more than 30 steps away from.
The amount of research that company has done
Crazy.
For the most mundane things.
Like the
garbage and eye innocence.
They developed a color green that people don't notice. That's what color their trash cans are. So you don't even notice they're there.
I didn't know that either.
And they have big eyes.
Hey, Disney, give us a sponsorship and we'll give out interesting pieces of trivia about you and your research and development department.
Disney, not enough people know about you. They are only getting this information from us. So
you're really flying under the radar here, Disney. A small little company I've suggested investing in. This is what quarantine is doing to us, man. This is what happens when you take sports away from us.
This is exactly what happened when you take spurts. I've been pronouncing it spurts. Is it sports? Somebody told me that the other day. It doesn't sound right.
I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
Let me give you two scenarios here
that
I've cooked up. Okay, scenario A, you can eliminate quarantine protocols right now, but the only sport that will come back for the next 5 years is the Olympics. Or scenario B, all sports return back to normal right now, but the quarantine protocols stay in place for the next 5 years.
So go over my options one more time.
Option A is you can eliminate the quarantine protocols right now, but the only sport that you get back for the next 5 years is the Olympics.
So I get the Olympics every year for 5 years, or once.
I think you would, given that we're in, like, it's a 4-year cycle, I think you'd get one Summer Olympics and one Winter Olympics in that 5-year span.
I'm there.
And then option B is all sports go back to normal right now, but the quarantine protocols that we're in stay in place for 5 years.
So no fans in the stands.
No fans in the stands. You still got to work from home. You don't see any, but everything is the same as it is right now, only you get to watch sports.
I think I go with option B. We stay in place and we're staying here and we're hunkered down, and this thing has been crazy. It's been wild on a lot of people, and I get that, but I think that will open up other options that could help even jumpstart to some degree the economy, with people, going back and buying more merchandise, even if it's not attending the game, but buying merchandise or betting or, watching on TV. I gotta imagine those TV stations are hurting really bad because nobody's watching anything on their stations anymore. So I'm going to go with option B. That's what I think. What did you come up with?
I don't like the Olympics.
Really?
I don't care about the Olympics.
Really?
Emily, probably her favorite sporting event. I mean, she's not a huge sports fan as it is, but she really gets into the Olympics. She follows it from day one. She can name people. She can name event. Like, she just knows what's going on with that particular thing. I have never been a big fan of it, especially I think summer is hard for me.
Really?
I don't care about track and field at all.
Yeah.
The swimming events, like some of them I can get into, but I can't identify with any of it, I guess.
I don't mind the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm in the minority with that, to be honest, because the whole world likes the Olympics. I'm probably the only person who doesn't. The problem for me is that option B, inherent in option B, if the quarantine is still going on, that means that the virus is still around. So I'm then choosing option B to get sports, but keeping I'm voluntarily keeping the virus here in order for me to be able to watch football. Which I still, even knowing that, I think maybe I still do it.
I still think I'm there. I think you're right. I think it's right. I see, like the Olympics. The Olympics I like, but to have it for 5 years and only get to watch 2 sporting events, really, the summer and the winter ones, I don't think is worth it. I don't think it's worth it, because then you've got 2-year gaps of nothing, literally nothing, just like we're in now, right?
But you've also eliminated COVID-19 in option A.
So, but what
too.
if they figure it out though? Before then, they come up with the vaccine before then. Then B is the only option.
It is, but we're assuming all medical professionals are external to this particular scenario.
Okay,
because otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, then we just kind of.
Option C is everybody gets cured and the economy comes back. I didn't read that one, though.
You forgot to bring C up. Oh, man. Boo. I think B, I mean, I do like cheering for USA. I like the Olympics in that regard. I like how it's very, I think about the Olympics when I think about the World Cup. My God, I don't like soccer. And I'm sorry. I know the whole entire world loves soccer, except for apparently America. But I like watching the World Cup.
Me too.
I mean, because it's American and it's like everybody's cheering for the same team. I went to my local sports bar during the last World Cup and it's like everybody was cheering for the same team. Like you don't see that in football or in any other sport. So like I get that with the Olympics, but is it enough to just, to cancel all other sports? I don't know if that weighs out where I can watch all my other sports go back.
Yeah, I agree with you. By the way, local sports bar, Augie's in Buckeye.
It's in Goodyear.
Throw us a sponsorship. Goodyear. I don't even know where you are, but throw us a sponsorship.
I think I've paid your mortgage a couple of times. So they're good people over there.
Kick it back.
So you brought up something that you don't like the Olympics, but everybody else does. So name 5 things that you don't like, but everybody else does.
The Bachelor. I hate The Bachelor, but apparently everyone in the world likes it.
What is that your number one, you think?
That's just the first one that came to my mind. Maybe hummus?
Oh, yeah, hummus is, yeah.
I do not like hummus. Like, I'm not down for hummus.
You're in Flagstaff. You're supposed to love hummus. Isn't that like
I know.
thing up there?
It's an obligation to do it.
My number 1 is chocolate. I hate chocolate.
You don't like chocolate?
I hate chocolate, dude. Yeah, I hate chocolate. I had like chocolate, parades, fireworks.
Parades is good. Hiking. I don't like hiking. Everybody in the world likes hiking. I don't care about hiking.
I like hiking. Hiking's okay with me. But yeah, you live in Flagstaff. You're supposed to hike like every 10 minutes. God,
I know.
You're in the wrong city, bro.
I am. No sports. All hummus. All avocado toast.
Yeah, avocado.
Okay, so I've got 3. You have parades, fireworks, chocolate. What was your 4th and 5th?
Soccer, apparently. But I think that's also not liked as much in America, so I don't know if that one counts.
My probably number 1 now that I'm thinking about it, but the 4th one I thought of is Marvel movies.
Oh, I'm going to put that on my list too. I hate Marvel, dude.
Do not care at all about superhero movies.
That's number 5 for me. I'm putting it on. We can share that. Me and you both. The same.
Okay. We did it.
We're trying to be controversial here, but that's the same because I teach high school kids and they all love Marvel. Dude, they love superheroes and they talk to me about it and I'm like, I don't care. I don't know what any of those words mean and I don't care to know what they mean. Oh, I know what my 5th one was. Craft beer. I hate craft beer, dude.
Oh man, I don't think I can get behind you with that one because I do. That is my Flagstaff thing, man. Is I do like my stupid little local breweries.
I like hikes, and you don't, so we can have one that we split. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with craft. I don't like the culture around craft beer.
Oh.
Where the people who drink it are like, oh, you like Coors Light? Oh, you like Blue Moon? Oh, you like beer? You're an idiot. I only drink free-range organic coffee ground porters with oatmeal stout. Like, no.
When they're like, you drink Coors Light? Nobody likes that. I'm like, it's the 3rd most commonly sold beer around the world. What do you mean nobody likes it?
The reason you like craft beer is because you started with Coors Light.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll split that one with you too. I'll go craft beer culture.
Okay.
And you can go craft beer. So there we go. There's 5.
All right. We got
I like
5.
that.
We got to 5.
Was Nico Mannion this year, who was supposed to be the core of like the trio of freshmen that was going to revive and save Arizona basketball, regardless of the COVID closures? Like Nico Mannion was supposed to be the cornerstone on which this class was built. Was he a bust? Was Nico Mannion a bust?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with no. The only reason I can say no is because he came in and did enough. Was he as great as advertised this season? Probably not. I think that people had a little bit higher expectations for Nico, and probably to some degree justified. He was the biggest, big time recruit coming out of Arizona, staying home, the whole thing. But I can't say he's a bust because he's still played really good basketball. He played terrible basketball with scouts in the stands. I can't call him a bust. I can't quite get to the point of playing a bust because he played a lot of minutes. He did score quite a bit of points. He's still young, 19 years old. He's still got a lot of learning to do. So I don't think he's a bust. And the other thing is, it's really hard to call any player a bust this season because we didn't get to finish. The U of A basketball was probably going to make the tournament, barring some sort of massive collapse in the Pac-12 tournament, but they were probably going to make the dance. Had he shown up in the first game, scored 2 points, turned the ball over 10 times, I probably am leaning closer to bust. But it's hard to call him a bust if we were going to make the tournament. And he still played good basketball. Good. I wouldn't say he played great, but he played good. But I have a feeling you're leaning somewhere else.
Is that enough to call the number? Was he the number 1 prospect coming out of Arizona? He was top 5.
I think he was Mr.
Sure.
Basketball. Yeah.
Is playing good basketball on a team that was like expectations were pretty high. I think they were ranked top 15 to start the year, and then at the end of the year, you're looking at a team that's on the bubble.
You're still missing Brandon Williams. You got to take into account he got hurt. I think a lot of the basketball went through Brandon Williams too. So Nico probably played a little bit out of his comfort zone. But to compensate that, I don't think we were nearly expecting Najee to play the way he did. He came out of nowhere, and he was the star of the team. He overtook it. So a lot of people are counting Nico as a bust. Or if they are counting him as a bust, it's because Zeke came in and played the way he played that we weren't expecting. So much of the limelight went on him, which is justified. He deserved it. He deserved the accolades that he got. And but I still think Nico, I can't call him a bust if he still played good, and he played good enough. He didn't play, DeAndre Ayton style. He didn't come in and dominate the pack. But I still think he played good enough to not be considered a bust.
Okay, I can give you that. I'm all right with that.
But what would you argue that he was a bust?
My argument is that when you're a point guard, you're looked at as like similar to a quarterback, and you're going to be graded at the end of the year on not just your individual production, but you also shoulder some of the responsibility for wins and losses.
Okay.
And this team, I think, underplayed for their talent level, which I put a lot on Sean Miller. Obviously,
yes.
I don't think that he.
Yes.
I don't think he develops talent well. I think he expects that his freshman players can just come in and out-horse everybody else, that they're just going to out-athletic the other teams that they play, which has been true a lot of the time. I mean, Ayton was the prime example of that. He just came in and just dominated everybody on pure physical prowess.
I mean, he's just bigger. Yeah.
He's just better. You don't have to coach that. He just goes in,
right.
Hey, go in and beat up everybody.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yep. And still has a good mid-range jumper, too, to go with it.
Yes. So it's unfair to always compare everybody to one of the best players that your organization has had, but you keep looking for like that TJ McConnell guy.
Yeah.
Like the guy who's a bulldog who makes everybody else around him better. And I didn't see that out of Nico.
See,
I saw guys who were good. I think Josh Green underplayed what he's capable
I
of.
agree.
I think Nico underplayed what he's capable
I
of. I
agree.
think Najee was the only one who like came out and surprised anybody. And I don't attribute a lot of that to Nico. Some of it, sure, because he's a good distributor. But Najee, I think, would have been good without him on the floor.
Probably. I think Najee still had all of the assets. I think he's gonna be a good NBA player too. And I think that your point guard, your TJ McConnell, is going to be a transfer. I don't think that there's going to be many high school guys because they're used to just scoring a ton of points. They're not used to managing a game, right? They're just used to, in high school, you can just score 40 points a night. It's score more points than anybody else. And so scouts will look at me. Bill Self's not going to look at a player and be like, oh, yeah, he managed the game really well. No, he scored 50 points. He needs to come play in Kansas. I can't call Nico Mannion a bust because he was second team all Pac-12. My expectation was first team, but I'm not going to call the dude a bust. If he would have been no team.
Who was the first team point guard? Was it Peyton Pritchard out of Oregon?
Yeah, he was the Pac-12 player of the year.
That's who I want.
Yeah.
I want Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
And again, totally unfair to compare him to that guy.
He's
need
a senior.
like you said, you need like a Kadeem Allen, a guy who's going to come in and play till he's a senior. You need TJ McConnell, play till he's a senior. You're right.
And this segues into what I wrote down because this happened today. What are your thoughts on Jalen Green, number 1 overall recruit this next upcoming season? He decided to go play in the G League instead of the NCAA. What are your thoughts on how does that impact the NCAA? Because I've heard a lot of people talking today of all different kinds of things. So what do you think?
I've got to imagine that's going to start happening more and more. What purpose does it serve these guys to come play a year in college when if you get paid for your basic room and board expenses, it opens up an FBI investigation? Mm-hmm. I don't begrudge them for going to do that. If you're using college basketball as a 1-year launching point to get to the NBA, go to the G League, get paid to do it for a year, and then get drafted.
Yeah,
fine.
I don't take it out on the student at all. Absolutely not. I mean, are you kidding me? They said that Jalen Green, the max that the G League pays is $500,000 a year. He's going to make $500,000 probably. Why would you not? But my question is, so I don't blame Jalen Green at all. If I was in his shoes, I'm doing that for sure because he's supposed to, I haven't watched a whole lot of it, but he's going to be the guy, right? He's going to be the guy in 2 years draft. So what do you think that impact is on the NCAA?
I think if it becomes more prevalent, like more and more guys start doing that, the league will look really different. I don't think it won't diminish the parity of the league. Like there's still going to be competition and there's still going to be guys who want to come have that college experience and play at Duke or Kentucky or Kansas or some of these blue blood programs. You're never going to get rid of those kinds of people. The guys who know that they can make that jump real easily, they're going to go play, they're going to get paid, and they're not going to go to college, and that's okay. So will the game look different? It might. We might see guys who stick around a little bit longer because they're just not as skilled. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it starts to look more like football than basketball, where you've got guys who do stay for, you have to stay in at least 3 years.
Right.
And you get these teams that build and form some kind of cohesion over a little bit of time.
Right.
And so maybe it just looks like a different game. I don't think it will reduce my enjoyment of it because college basketball at its essence is not really a beautiful sport anyway.
True.
It's just like a bunch of guys who are better than everyone else around them. And you don't have to be super graceful or skilled or even all that well coached. You just have to recruit better guys.
True.
It's not the NBA. It's like come in and be better than everyone, and that's all you need to do.
True.
So the game itself, like I don't think it waters it down all that much to do it that way. In fact, I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah. Wow. That's an interesting. That's an interesting take. I like a lot of what you said. I think that it's really good. I think that the one and done rule has really hurt. Well, let me backtrack before I get into the one and done thing. I think that college basketball, it's starting to become more and more exposed. And this Jalen Green moving on has really exposed it that the NCAA is really not preparing kids for the NBA. It is not the same game. It's not the same game. You got 2 halves, not 4 quarters. I mean, just start. You've got you can come in, like you said, in college and just flat out be better than everybody. Zion Williams, straight up just better than everybody in NBA. That wasn't even close. You come to the NBA, you can't just be better than everybody else. You're playing against LeBron James, guys that have been in the league for years who are equally, if not better than you, who've been doing this for longer, who are seasoned. You can't just be straight up more athletic than everybody. You have to change your game. So is the NCAA even preparing kids for the NBA? I'm starting to lean towards no. I love college basketball, and this is not going to cause me to not stop watching it. It is one of my favorite sports to watch. But I seriously think that the NCAA is going to have to look and start doing something.
What do you change about the NCAA to make it more of an NBA prep league? Because college football reflects a lot of the schemes are very, very different, obviously.
Right.
Play calling is very different. Like the way offenses in particular run in college ball is very different than the NFL. But the rules are probably more similar across those two sports than you get with basketball to the NBA. Like the 3-point line is different.
Yeah.
You've got timeout rules are different. Fouls are different. Like you said, quarters versus halves are different. Like there's a lot of different things in that game to another game. So do you switch NCAA rules to mirror the NBA more to entice guys to come play there as a prep league? Do you think that helps?
I think I don't know if it would help, but I don't think it would hurt. I think that's another recruiting point that you can say, like, especially now, I think coaches are going to have to really start looking into how they recruit people because of the way that Jalen Green decided he's going to go to the G League. Well, if Jalen Green can do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
Your top probably, I would say at least 10 recruits every year are now going to start really thinking that. Okay, instead of going and playing at Arizona or at Duke or Kansas, why don't I go make $500,000 for a year and then go play in the NBA? Your lower echelon guys, like you said, I think that they're going to keep playing college ball, maybe need to refine their skills on something and go play that way. So I think that it wouldn't hurt to move some of these things around. Just simple little things that will change. I don't think you can change the pace of the game. I think that's all good. And I like how it's a little bit different. You are dealing with different characters in college basketball, but I mean, for crying out loud, have 4 quarters. I mean, that's a change. I think that even if you kept it's 2 20-minute halves now. I mean, even if you made it, the equal 60 minutes or 40 minutes of basketball, make it 4 10-minute quarters. I don't know. Like, sure. I'm just throwing out ideas. This is going to better reflect what you're going to see in the NBA because it's 4 quarters. I don't know. I don't know if that helps recruiting, but I think it doesn't hurt. I think that NCAA is going to have to change something.
They're going to have to pay players.
Or they're going to have to pay players.
That's what it's going to come down to. They're just going to have to start paying players.
Yeah. I mean, I think I used to be really against that, but I think that's the only reason why not. I heard a sportscaster talk about it today on the radio, is that the NCAA could potentially lose their tax accreditation, their tax exempt status, which, because now you have all these employees and you're shelling out payroll and stuff like that. But I don't know how else you're going to change the sport.
I don't either, which seems like a weird argument because you're already looking at the highest paid government employees in every single state are sports coaches at the universities.
Yep.
And it's not close.
Yep. True. I mean, the number 1 paid state employee in Arizona is Sean Miller.
And he can't break his own defense. I'll bet you and I could break his own defense if they gave us $8 million.
Yeah, I could figure it out.
Brody, give me your dad joke for the week.
Oh, dad joke for the week. So the dad joke of the week is brought to you by my 84-year-old grandfather, who thinks this is hilarious, and he always tells jokes, and he's always on to something. And so this one's bad, and it's an old one, so if you're listening to it, you know the punchline, but that's okay. There was a guy who owned a nursery place where they grow a lot of plants. Not like a nursery, like a baby nursery, but they grow a lot of plants and sell you plants and all that stuff. And they made it through the winter, and it was really cold and really tough. And then when spring came around, he was so happy he wet his plants.
Oh, man. That's so bad.
That one's a bad one, but it's got to go out to Grandpa, my Papa there.
Nice job, Pops.
That was a good one, though. That's not my best one, but I like that one.
You got to save you can't give the best one up front.
I know. I'm going through it. I work for an auction company, and they do a lot of dad jokes. The owner does a lot of dad jokes at Pot of Gold. They're great people, and he's got a calendar, dad joke of the day, and he goes through them. They're
Nice.
awesome. I got to get my hands on them.
Building your repertoire.
Something like that, I guess. I don't know.
Brody, I imagine that you, like everyone in the whole nation right now, is on a bunch of Zoom meetings and calls, and you're doing all of your work via Zoom.
Constant.
Is Sadie hanging out with you on any of those Zoom calls?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. We did like a video happy hour for my wife's work, and so we brought Sadie along with that one, which is cool. You know, that was kind of happy hour, but like, what do you want me to do if I'm on a Zoom call with somebody, or with, like, I have a child, she's right here, and if I see her stuffing 25 Cheetos into her mouth, I need to intervene because she is going to die.
You let her do that.
Speaking of Cheetos, dude, there are it is official, we have no rules anymore. We live in a land of lawlessness under this quarantine because I have fed her Cheetos for breakfast for the past 3 days. And that's what I've had for breakfast for the past 3 days. So there is please don't call Child Protective Services on me. Our child is great and does not only eat Cheetos. She has plenty of nutritious things that she eats, but I'm struggling on breakfast front because she calls them puffs. And she comes up and says, "Puffs, please." And she's so sweet. I'm not going to not give her Cheetos. I don't care if it's 7:30 in the morning.
You know what? I was going to let it I was okay with it. I was going to let it slide that you were feeding her Cheetos for breakfast. What concerns me more is that you said you're also eating them for breakfast.
Yeah.
There's a choice to be made here by an adult.
It's okay to eat Cheetos if you're a kid, and it's okay if you're a college student. When you're a 32-year-old man with a child, you need to cut out the Cheetos for breakfast.
When you're on these calls with Sadie, or back in the normal world, back in the before times when you used to just go around to, like, where there were other humans.
Yeah.
And you had Sadie, and you were by yourself. Chelsea wasn't there. This was just you and Sadie.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever get people who would say, "Oh, looks like you're on babysitting duty today"?
All the time.
Dude, what's the deal with that? It feels like it's not something you would say to a mom.
No, absolutely
it's
not.
Something you would say to a dad.
Absolutely. Is it insulting? Do I need to be insulted by that?
I don't think it's done intentionally to be insulting, but it comes across like, oh, your wife is the one who takes care of the kid, and you've just got it now.
You're just kind of there.
Good thing you're keeping it alive, Dad.
Yeah, that's kind of my priority, actually. Like, to keep it alive. That's step one.
My response to it has always been, "No, I'm not. It's my own child." Which is a real mean, like, it's real smarmy to come back with that.
It is the appropriate.
But something about that just rubs me the wrong way.
It's the appropriate response, though. That's how you need to respond. You're smarter on your feet like that, and you needed to be. That's a good one. I'm gonna steal that from you.
Let's put some more anger out in the world. That's what we need more of, right? I'm gonna spread this to everybody. Hey, everybody, just be real sarcastic.
If you're angry at everybody, you don't want to be 6 feet from them. So, I mean, that helps with the social distancing.
This is true. I'm encouraging social distancing by being a real jerk.
Chelsea all the time. She's like, "Is everything okay with Sadie?" She'll be crying. I'm like, "Well, she's breathing, so that's good." And she's like, "Is that the benchmark?" I'm like, "That's my benchmark." She's still breathing. So then that's check mark number 1. If she's not breathing, then we don't have check mark number 1. We have issues. But yeah,
that's what we said when Posey turned 1. We said, you know what? We kept her alive for a year.
Victory.
1 year down.
Victory. That's all you can ask for as a parent. Man, I get that all the time. Like, even from, like, waiters and waitresses. "Oh, are you babysitting today?" You're like, "Your tip is not going to be fun today." Yes, I brought my child to a sports bar. Yes, she's 10 months old. Yes, we are by ourselves. Just let us
give her a beer and let's move
go on. Something light, because I'm worried about her health. Okay.
She ate a bunch of Cheetos for breakfast, and we got to wash it out. It's weird. It's weird to parent in this time right now.
It is weird.
All that stuff aside, the things that we've already dealt with people asking us if we're babysitting or whatever, all the normal parenting things, this is just such a different wrench in all of it.
Really is. Everything is different, and it's been like, I I asked my wife this the other day, are we having Sadie watch too much TV? Like, is that a thing? And she brought up, she's like, she's probably watched less TV than you and I did when we were growing up. Sadie, like, she'll watch TV for a little while and then she goes off and she runs around and does stuff. My parents would put on the TV just because we had two boys, and it's like, if they're watching TV, they're not breaking things and they're not being loud. Like, whatever, just shut up and watch TV. We don't care. Rot your brain. Just shh. And I used to, when you're single, you judge people like that, and then you become a parent and you're like, oh, I get it. I get it. I'm on board with that. I'm sorry for everything I said. She's quiet for 20 minutes watching Word Party. That's fine. Whatever. What are the latest developments, if you could pass on some wisdom to new dads that you've been experiencing lately with your daughter? What's she been doing?
Take a ton of joy in the littlest things. She's just this week learned how to point. So she's pointing at us and at objects and that kind of thing. She's babbling a ton more. She's not standing on her own, but if you prop her up, she'll stand on something. She learned how to dance. Like, we'll tell her, hey, dance, and she does like this wobble thing and then giggles at herself a ton about it. She's also even learned how to throw tantrums, which has been really fun. And I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but it's like, okay, she's recognizing things. Yeah. She knows that she wants that object or she wants that to do that thing. And we've taken that away from her, and that makes her angry. And so she's responding that way. And like, if you look at it that way and you see that it's part of her development, you don't take it like, oh, just shut up already. There are times, obviously, when you're going to do that. But it's been kind of fun to watch her learn like what she wants and what's fun for her, what's interesting, and what warrants her getting mad about something. So yeah, just take a lot of joy in the littlest things that happen, because they're only little for that long,
That is true. Sadie, this was probably a month ago now. She's too big now and she gets too rambunctious, but she took a nap on me. It was like a Sunday afternoon, and Chelsea was like, you want me to go put her in her crib? And I'm like, no, she's going to not ever want to do this ever again. It's like, you're right though, because they're only this small for a certain amount of time. And now Sadie would never take a nap with me because she gets too crazy. She can't go to, she wouldn't be able to go to sleep unless she's in her crib. Like, one thing that's coming close for you that somebody told me that I shrugged off at the beginning until I was in it was, dude, mobility is a game changer. Oh my gosh, dude. When they start walking, holy Moses, that is a whole separate. I remember being floored. I could stand it when Sadie would crawl. Okay, that was game changer, because now she's like, when you lay her down, she's not going to be there in a second. She's going to be somewhere else. And then she started walking in, but she needed the wall. So you're like, okay, find the wall, because she's going to be near the wall. Like, she can't go far away from that. But when she stood up on her own in the middle of the floor, Chelsea and I were both looking at it, and we both were like, oh, crap. That is a new thing that we are not ready for. And then if she's off and running, that was a whole separate game changer. But in a good way, because now she can move and she's, fun. But that in that 1 second when she stood up on her own, we were like, whoa, what are, like, you mean she's not ever? I thought she was just never going to walk. She's just going to, we weren't even expecting that. So when they get mobile, you talk game changer. Holy cow.
It's funny how they have all of these little moments where you realize over and over again, this is a little human.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time Posey sneezed. She was probably a day or two old. I was like, oh man, that's a human sneeze. But then they keep doing all these things to remind you, hey, I'm not a pet. I'm a little person.
Somebody said this once, and I would like to expand on this. Babies are little drunk people. And it is 110% true. Sadie is a little drunk person. She gets excited and like runs all arms going everywhere. Legs are going independent from each other and super wobbly, like can't stand still. Kind of leans, got the drunk guy lean going a little bit.
Brody, I think we've hit just about everything. Talked about hunting innocent baby elephants. We talked about Nico Mannion and Arizona basketball. Talked a little bit about being called babysitters for our children. So I think we've hit all the beats. What do you got for us auction-wise this week?
Auction-wise, guys, we're going to auction off to number 31 in memory of David Johnson, which was his number when he played here. He officially passed his physical today. And so we are wishing him the best of luck in Houston, but we are not sad that he is no longer an Arizona Cardinal. Here we go. And $5 now, $10 here, $10, $15, $20 here, $25, and $30 here, $31, $32, $32, and a half here, $32. Sold $31.31. Thank you, David Johnson.
Everybody, thanks for listening. If you want to get in touch with us, you can hit us up at In-Law Show on Twitter or send us an email at inlawshow@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back next week.
Bye, guys.